Yes, Pradipti, we can see.
Yeah, fine.
Just a minute, let me introduce. Yeah, so warm welcome to all the students for the final workshop. So this is the sixth workshop we have, conducted all five workshops in the machine learning workshop series, and this is the sixth one. So if you see, we have started off with Python basics with the first workshop, second workshop, data analysis and data visualization using Python. We have covered third workshop. We have covered introduction to machine learning and linear regression. Fourth workshop, we have touched upon classification problem, that is logistic regression. And recent fifth workshop, which we have covered unsupervised learning technique, that is clustering algorithm. And today we are gonna discussing a little advanced algorithms in machine learning, so-called decision tree random forest. As such, based on time permits, speaker can cover a couple of more algorithms also. Right, request you to focus on this session so that you'll be getting 2 to 3 minimum algorithms covered. And today speaker for today's session is Ms. Pradeepti. She is senior software engineer from SmartBridge, and she also delivers lots of boot camps for student and developer ecosystem. So let me hand over to Pradeepti. Yeah, Pradeepti.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. Good afternoon, one and all. So, sir has said about me, and till now, you have completed all the regression and classification kind of algorithms, right? So, I don't wanna tell again about what is regression and what is classification. So, I just want to directly jump into the algorithm explanation. So today I'll be dealing with the decision tree classification and random forest classification, as well as decision tree regression and random forest regression, right? So from the name decision tree itself, you can say that this algorithm will be creating some sort of trees where decisions are made. For suppose, if I have given you a task, then you will write different kinds of steps, like in a form of a flow chart, right? So in the same way, decision tree also creates a tree kind of structure, and this decision tree is used for building classification as well as algorithm classification as well as regression models. So it breaks down the data set into smaller and smaller subsets, while at the same time an associated decision tree is being developed. So as I told, decision tree builds is used for building regression as well as the classification problem, and it breaks down the data set into smaller subsets. And the resultant tree will have leaf nodes, decision nodes, and the main node. So we'll look into what are all these nodes within few minutes. All right. So let us take an example. So here I have 14 examples, 14 observations, right? So can you please tell me what is the data set about? As soon as you look into the data set, can you please tell me what does this data set about? Okay, fine. So what are we trying to predict? Yeah, it's a binary classification, but what are we trying to predict? I just want to know from you guys so that I can move forward. Yes. So let's take a boy wants to play some games, and he will play games based on the weather parameters. So if you see here, there are some sort of observations regarding weather, right? So outlook is sunny, humidity is high, wind is weak. So whenever the weather is sunny, humidity is high, and wind is weak, that person will not play. Otherwise, if it is overcast or if it is humidity is high or if wind is weak, then he will play, right? So this is the data set. Now first what we do is, first we'll count what are all the yes observations and what are all the no observations. So from this slide, can you please tell me what are the yes observations and what are the no observations? The count, I mean. Yes. So we have 9 yes observations and 5 no observations. So please put this count in your mind, and then we will see how the decision tree will create the subsets. All right. Yes. So if you look into this, there are 9 yeses and 5 nos, right? Now, based on the data set, can you please tell me on 15th day, it is rainy, the humidity is high, and the wind is weak. Now you guys tell me whether the person will play or not. Based on this data set, as we have only 14 observations, you can somehow do some sort of thinking, and you can say whether he will play or not. But if it is a huge kinds of data set, if it has lakhs of rows and millions of rows, how can a machine able to predict whether the person will play based on these weather parameters? To check this, first of all, a decision tree. A tree is made based upon some phenomenon. So let's see what is that phenomenon, right? Now, we have 3 inputs, right? Outlook, rainy, and sunny. So first, the column in the first column, we have outlook. Yes or no? Now, what we do, we divide this outlook subset into different types. So if you see in outlook, how many categories are there in outlook? In this column, how many categories are there? There are 3 categories. So first, it will consider the first column, and it divides the data set into 3 categories. Like, how does that categorize? Outlook, it has overcast, it has rainy, and it has sunny. And each and every category has some sort of observations. So for overcast, these are the observations. So if it is overcast, wind is high, humidity is high, and wind is weak, right? So there are 4 observations for overcast. There are 5 observations for sunny, out of which 4 are yes, 4 are no, 2 are yes, yes conditions. In the same way, rainy also, it has 5 observations, out of which 3 are yes conditions and 2 are no conditions. No conditions in the sense like observations. So the decision tree will split the data set until it gets pure sets. Until it gets pure sets. Now you should understand what does this pure set mean. Pure set is nothing but a set which will have either all yeses or all no's. Now, from here, tell me which is a pure set and which is an impure set. So again, I'm telling decision tree will divide the data set into different subsets until it gets pure sets. So first it divided with the help of overcast. So whenever it divides with the overcast, with outlook, it got 3 categories, out of which there are some sets. Now here, overcast can be considered as the pure set because it has all yeses. But sunny and rain, these are not pure sets, they are impure sets. So as these are impure sets, you have to divide these sets further until you get pure sets. Now, what is the second column? Second column, we have humidity. So under sunny, we will be dividing the data with the help of humidity. And near rain, we will be dividing the data set with the help of wind. So let's see how that is happening. So I told pure set, this is impure set. So that's the reason you have to split further. This is impure set, you have to split further. Now, once the data set is splitted further, again, if you see in the humidity, you have high category as well as normal category. In the wind, you have weak category as well as strong category. Now, if you see this, can you say that all these are pure sets? So decision tree will divide the data set into different subsets until it gets pure sets. If suppose high is having impure sets, and again decision tree will check whether there is another column to check or not. If that column is there, then with the help of that column, again it will split the data set. So this is how the decision tree will split the data set into tree structure. Now we have made a decision tree. Now I have given you the data, right? What is the data that I have given you? That is 15th day. It is rainy and humidity is high, wind is weak, right? Now, from that data, using this decision tree, tell me whether he will play or not. Overcast is rainy. So if the overcast is rainy, to which decision tree it will tend towards? Sorry, outlook is rainy. So outlook is rainy. So it goes to this node. Fine. Rain. Here it is checking only wind condition, right? Because humidity is in the other node. So no need of humidity case for this. Now wind is what? Weak. So the person will play the game. Did you understand this? How a decision tree is formed, guys? So based on this decision tree, it will predict whether the person will play or not. In the same way, if I give another data, for suppose overcast is sunny, humidity is normal, wind is weak. Now tell me whether the person will play or not. Outlook is sunny, wind is weak, humidity is normal. Now tell me whether the person will play or not. He will play. The reason is outlook is sunny. So sunny is in this node. Now no need of you considering the wind parameter. So in this decision tree, wind is not at all considered as the parameter. Now what is humidity? Humidity is normal. So the person will play. This is how a decision tree will be formed. Now the question arises, why we have to split the data set only on outlook? Why the data set is to be split on only outlook? Why can't we split the data on wind or humidity? This is purely based on entropy. Entropy is considered as the randomness or disturbance in the data. Randomness or disturbance in the data. Higher the entropy, higher will be the randomness. Lesser the entropy, less will be the randomness. Now, what do you understand by this randomness? For suppose I gave you a I gave you a carton. In the carton, I have put all the things like stationary things, books, clothes, all those things together in a one carton, right? Now, if you consider that the box is untidy because it is mixed up with all the different stuff, right? So you can consider that untidiness is entropy. Now I asked you to segregate all the things separately. Now what you do, you put all clothes in one box, all stationary things in one box, all books in one box. Now the other boxes are organized in a proper way. Organized in a proper way. So the randomness of that boxes are less. So entropy will be higher whenever the randomness is high. Entropy will be lesser whenever the randomness is less. So to first of all, you have to calculate the entropy. If it is high, then you have to calculate the information gain. I'll tell you what information gain is also. First, let's look into entropy. Now, did you understand what does entropy mean? Did you understand what does this entropy mean, guys? Yes, it is the measure of randomness. Right. Now, how do you calculate the entropy of your data set? How do you calculate the entropy of your data set? The formula is minus probability plus log 2 p plus probability minus probability log 2 some probability. Now let's put this formula according to our data set. Here S is the sample of training examples. P plus is the proportion of positive examples in the whole data set. P, normal P is the proportion of negative examples in the total data set. Now if you put the formula according to our data set, this is how it will become. Minus PS log 2 PS, P in the sense probability, minus P probability of no log 2 probability of no. So everyone knows the formula of probability, right? Sum of observations by total number of similar observations, right? So while talking about the data set, I asked you to put in the mind about the observations, right? So we have 9 yeses and we have 5 no's. Yes or no? So what is the probability of yes? That could be 9 by 14. So 9 by 14 log 2, 9 by 14 minus 5 by 14 log 2, 5 by 14 minus. Now whenever you substitute the formula, you will get some entropy. So higher the entropy, higher the randomness. Lower the entropy, lesser the randomness. This is how you will be calculating the entropy of. No, we have only 5 no's, Ravikiran. So that's the reason it is 5 by 14 only. We have only out of 14 observations. Yes observations are 9. No observations are 5. The probability of no and probability of yes. Alright. Now what we have to do is we have to get this randomness reduced. So how do you reduce the randomness? With the help of information gain. So I told you pure sets and impure sets, right? So pure set is considered as the less random data. It is that set has less randomness. Impure set will have more randomness. Okay, so to remove that randomness, we have to select the attribute which will reduce the randomness. So how to know that this particular entity is used for reducing the randomness? This is purely because of information gain. So you can consider this information gain as reduce in the entropy. It is used to reduce the entropy. So how do you calculate the information gain? Information gain is equal to total entropy minus, I'll tell you what is this SV by S, into entropy of each subset. Entropy of each subset. So now you have to calculate the information gain for every column. So you have to calculate the information for Outlook, information gain for Outlook, Information gain for wind, information gain for humidity. So let's see that for wind. So whenever you split the data with wind, it got divided into two subsets. One is weak subset and other is strong subset. So whenever it is a weak subset, there are 8 observations together. There are 8 observations together. In those 8 observations, 6 are yeses and 2 are no's. In the same way, in the strong, there are 6 observations, out of which 3 are yeses, 3 are no's. Did you understand this? What is this 6 and 2? What is this 3 and 3? Did you understand this, or should I show that in the data set? Okay, fine. Let me show you. Let me show in the data set. Understood? Okay, fine. If you have understood it, then that's fine. Yeah, fine. So I'll show in the data set. Now see, first I want to take wind. In wind, how many are there? Weak and strong. Now count the weak observations. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So weak has 8 observations, out of which, let's see how many yes observations are there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 are yes observations, 2 are no observations. In the same way, strong observations are totally 6. You can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Out of those 6 observations, yeses are 3. You can see 1 yes, 2 yes, 3 yes. 1 strong no, 2 strong no, 3 strong no, right? So now did you understand, right? Excuse me. So whenever you divide the data set, the wind has these subsets. Now, first you have to calculate the entropy of each subset. So what could be the entropy of weak? Can you please tell me the formula of it? Just now I have shown you the entropy formula, right? Can you please tell me what is the entropy of weak? Entropy of weak, yes, and entropy of weak, no. Can you please tell me? No? Fine, I'll just show you. Minus 6 by 8 log. Okay, fine, Venkatalakshmi, that's half correct. So let's see. Entropy of weak is, this is entropy, guys. This is entropy. 6 by 8 log 2, 6 by 8. 2 by 8 log 2, 2 by 8. Right? So here we are considering only weak observations. So total number of weak observations are 8. So 6 by 8 and 2 by 8 are, probability of no is 2 by 8. Probability of S is 6 by 8. And if you apply this formula, you will get a value. That's fine. Now for no, that no observations are 6. So 6, 3 by 6, 3 S's by total number of observations, 3 no's by total number of observations. This is the entropy of strong. Now, what is this 8 by 14 and 6 by 14? So while showing the formula of information gain, you have something called SV by S, right? So here S is nothing but the number of observations in that particular node divided by total number of observations in the data set. Number of observations in the particular node divided by total number of observations. Right? So here, week. In week, you have 8 observations divided by total is 9 plus 5 is 14. So 8 by 14 into entropy of week. In the same way, total number of observations is 14 and strong observations is 6. So 6 by 14. Now, whenever you apply this information gain formula, entropy minus summation of entropy of similar nodes, entropy of all the nodes, then you get a value something like this, 0.048. 0.048. Now, in the same way, you have to calculate for the outlook also. So, for Sunny, there are 5 observations, out of which 2 are yeses, 3 are no's. For Overcast, there are 4 observations, out of 4 are yes and 0 are no's. Outlook is the weather parameter you can consider. That's just the column they have put that. Outlook is the column A. Outlook is the column A. If you see, in Outlook, we have 3 categories, right? Sunny, overcast, and rainy. So if you take sunny, how many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, it's your first class today. Fine, Parvati. That's okay. You can just follow the class. Don't worry. At the end of the class, you can ask the doubts. Fine. Now, for the outlook also, I have calculated the entropy values and I have calculated the information gain. So the information gain for outlook is 0.247. Higher the information gain, lesser the randomness. Lesser the information gain, higher the randomness. So if you see, for wind, you got information gain as 0.048. For outlook, you got information gain as 0.47. So that means outlook is less random than wind. So that's the reason the decision node is considered as outlook. That's the reason the decision node. So first we have split the data on outlook, right? The reason is the information for outlook is higher than humidity and wind. So this is how a random forest will be created. A decision tree will be created. Did you understand, guys? With the help of entropy and information gain. Did you understand, guys? Did you understand, everyone? If you have any doubts regarding this, you can ask me. Yes, everyone. Fine. Now, decision tree regression. For example, we have, you know the difference between regression and classification, right? If the output is having numerical value, then you consider that as a regression. If the output is having binary values or categorical values, you will consider that as the classification. So I told you decision tree is used for regression as well as classification. So the data will be splitted based on information gain and entropy in classification. But in decision tree regression, how does that happen? Let's see. Let's see for the decision tree regression. Okay. First, suppose this is the data that I have. Let's suppose I have two sets. One is x1 and two inputs. One is this is age and this is salary, or this is age, and this is his position, and you have to predict some sort of salary, right? So whenever I plot the graph, the data set will be plotted in this way. Now here, how can I split the data? Randomly, what it does is, first it splits at 50, let's suppose. Next, it will randomly split it here. So I have split 1, split 2. Then I'll split the third split. Randomly I'm splitting. And split 4, I am doing in this way. And in the split 5, I am splitting randomly. I'm just splitting the data set randomly. Right? Now, the decision tree will be formed. How can you say that? First, suppose I have given x as 50. x1 is greater than 50. x1 is greater than 50. So whenever x1 is greater than 50, it comes to which split? If suppose x1 is greater than 50, it comes to which split? x1 is greater than 50. It comes in the fourth split. It comes in the fourth split, or you can consider that as a split 3, right? So now x1 is greater than 50. If that is there, if it is yes, then you have to check whether x1 is greater than 100 or x2 is less than 20. The reason is the split, the next split is over here, or the next split is over here. So now the decision tree is purely based on the next split. Next split. Now if it is yes, it comes to the split 4 or split 2. Is x1 greater than 100? No. That's the reason it goes to x2. If suppose x2 is less than 20, if suppose x2 is less than 20, if suppose x is less than 20, in which split it will come now? x1 is greater than 50 and x2 is less than 20. x1 is greater than 50 and x2 is less than 50. So that comes to split 1. Split 1. It comes to split 1. If x2 is not less than 20, it goes to split 2. So this is how a regression decision tree is formed. So randomly you will split the data. Based on that, you will be creating the trees. So in the linear regression, if you have observed, first you randomly draw a line, right? Then you will shift the lines upper side and upper and towards down, and you calculate mean square error. Did you remember? In the same way, here once the data is split, first it will calculate the mean square error. Wherever the error is less, then those splits are considered as the best splits. This is how the the decision tree regression splits will be happen. Decision tree regression. So this is the difference between regression as well as classification. So in classification, you will be using entropy and information gain to split the data, and in regression usually you split the data randomly and then you apply mean square error. Whenever the error is minimum, then you consider those splits are best splits, right? In the same way, you will have random forest classification as well as regression. So what is this random forest? Random forest can be considered as the combination of different decision trees. So first, suppose in decision tree, you have thousands. In decision tree, what happens is, a data set has 1000 rows. All right. So in decision tree, what happens? The tree is built upon all the 1000 rows at once. All the 1000 rows at once. But when it comes to random forest, first the data set is splitted. So the data set splitting is based on us. For suppose if I want to split the data set into 5 sets. So I have 1000 rows in the data set. All right. Now what I do? I put 200 rows in first data set, 200 rows in second data set, 200 rows in third data set, 200 rows in fourth data set, and other 200 rows in fifth data set. Now each and every data set, I will apply decision trees. In each and every data set, I will apply decision trees. So once the decision tree is formed, for each and every node, a decision tree is formed. Now I will give the inputs to all the decision trees. So the day 14th data set, let's suppose I gave day 15th data I gave to decision tree 1. It said he plays, let's suppose. The second decision tree said no. The third decision tree said yes. So the output will be the majority of the decision trees. So here, out of 3, 2 decision trees has said he will play the game. So yes will be output in the random forest. Now, did you understand this random forest concept, guys? Yes. This is what about random forest classification. In the same way, for regression also. For regression also the same thing, but the output will be mean of all the trees. For suppose I am predicting salary of a person. For suppose I am predicting salary of a person. So the data set has 900 rows, and I have split the data set into 3 data sets. Data set 1, data set 2, data set 3. For data set 1, I have created a decision tree. For data set 2, I have created a decision tree. And the data set, I have created a decision tree. Now, whenever I give the inputs, this decision tree said, I gave the input as 5 years. So if I give 5 years as the input, it said the salary would be 20,000, let's suppose. Now the next decision tree gave the salary output would be 25,000. Then the third decision tree gave salary would be 30,000. Now for regression, you will be taking the mean of these 3 outputs. So 20,000 plus 25,000 plus 30,000 divided by 3. That is what the decision random forest regression is. So purely the concept is decision tree only, but in random forest, different decision trees are built. Different decision trees are built. So this is all about random forest regression and classification. Hope you understood, right, guys? If you have any doubts, you can ask me. Otherwise, we'll go into the practical implementation. All right. All right, guys. Shall I move on to the practical implementation then? Yes. So I've already created Python files and I have made a GitHub repo. Please download them. So I'm putting the link in the chat window. Download the whole repository and let me know. We'll execute the programs. All right. Do you have any doubts, guys? If yes, please let me know. github.com/guided-ml. GitHub. It's not app. It is GitHub certificate link. I'm not the right person to ask about certificate. So please ask the concerned person about it. So please download the files. So I have 4 files. One is classification file and another is regression IPYNB file. Hope everyone is working on Jupyter notebooks only, right? Yes. Fine. So these are all IPYNB files. I'll just give 2 minutes, 2 or 5 minutes. Please download that. Have you downloaded the files, guys? Go to this link. Download all the files. So you can download the files. If not, it's not downloading, you can directly press Ctrl S, or you can directly download the whole repository. Download the whole repository and extract the zip folder. Extract the zip folder. All right, guys. Have you downloaded all the files? Can I move on to the practical implementation? Yes, okay. Fine. So at 2:45, I'll tell you how to execute the programs, right?
Pradipti, have you given break?
No, I just asked them to download the data assets.
Okay, okay, good.
So guys, done? Shall I move forward? I hope it's already 2:45. Yes. Now, so please open classification program. Please open classification program. Have you opened it? So if you see here, this classification algorithms, I have made this classification algorithms on diabetes dataset. I'll show you the dataset as well. So the name of the dataset is datasets. So if you just open this dataset, here you can see there are some rows of observations of different patients. These are the observations of pregnant women. Okay. So you will train the machine to predict whether a pregnant woman will get affected with diabetes or not. So for that, the observations have taken are how many pregnancies that she has gone through, what are her glucose levels, what is her blood pressure, what is the thin skin thickness that she is maintaining, is she taking insulin or not, or what is the amount of insulin she is taking, what is her body mass index, what is her diabetes pedigree function, and what's her age. So based on this observation, the machine can predict whether the person will get affected with the diabetes or not. So this is real time data of pregnant women. The data, this is the real data of pregnant women who got affected with the diabetes and not got affected with diabetes during their pregnancies. So for this, I would like to apply random forest classification as well as regression classification, and I'll see the accuracy for random forest classification as well as decision tree classification. Right now, so the first step is to import the libraries. So that's what I have imported. As everyone knows, you should import the library as NumPy and Pandas. I have imported it. Just execute this. So you can execute the cell with the help of Shift Enter. Hope everyone is doing this in notebook itself. If they're doing it in notebook only, then you'll be able to understand. Otherwise, you'll not be able to understand. Then the second step is to read the data set. Read the data set. If you see this, my data set is in E drive, training drive, VEC FDP. But now you have downloaded that, right? So the path of this could be different. The path of this could be different. How can you change the path? Go to the data set that you've downloaded. This is the data set's name. Go to the data set which is downloaded. Let's suppose this is the folder where my data set has been downloaded. Now select this path, copy the path and paste it over here. Select the path, paste it over here with a slash. All right, guys. So here, this is the path of your data set. Yes, I have read my data set. And if you just see the data set, you can see that there are 768 rows and 9 columns. 768 rows and 9 columns. For every algorithm building, you should follow some sort of steps. What are they? First one is import the libraries. Next, read the data set. check for missing values, convert the textual data into binary data, split data into X and Y, split data into train and test sets, apply algorithm, test the algorithm, apply algorithm or train the machine, test the algorithm, calculate the accuracy. These are all the steps that everyone should follow while building an algorithm. So first two steps are already done. Then you have first two steps, that importing the libraries and reading the data set is already done. Now the next step is checking for missing values. Checking for missing values. Checking for missing values. So how do you check whether there are any missing values or not? With the help of dataset.isNull.any. Just execute this. Then you can see in pregnancies column, it is showing false. In glucose column, it is showing false. That means there are no missing values. So if you check this data set, if you see no other data is, there is no cell which is empty. For suppose, I just remove this. Then this becomes the missing values. So in this data set, there are no missing values. So you can skip the replacing of the missing values. Then the next step is convert the textual data into binary data. Machines cannot understand textual data. For suppose over here, in the first column, there is a column regarding state. So in the state, let's suppose we have Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, like that. Being a human being, we can understand textual data, but the machine cannot understand the textual data, right? So at that point, you have to convert that textual data into binary data. So each binary value will be associated to the state. For suppose we have three states, Telangana, Andhra Pradesh and Orissa, let's suppose. So the Telangana will convert it into binary format, and the binary values which are given for Telangana could be 010, or for Andhra Pradesh it could be 100, or for Orissa it could be 001. So like that, the data will be converted into binary so that your machine can understand that binary format, right? Now in this data set, we don't have any textual data. So no need of this step also. So handling the missing values is not needed because there are no missing values. No need of converting the textual data into binary data because we don't have the textual data. Next, the next one is split the data into X and Y. Here X is nothing but input and Y is nothing but output. So if you see, I am considering column 0 to 8th column as my inputs. So from pregnancies to age 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th index, 6th index, 7th index till age. If you want to grab till 7, then you have to give it as 8. So that's the reason I'm giving 0 is to 8. 0 is to 8. 0 is to 8 dot values. Dot values will convert the data frame into an array because you have to train the machine on arrays itself. In the same way, the last column outcome is considered as output. So for the first 7 values are inputs, and the last value is considered as output, right? And after this, I have written a code to split the data into train and test set. Here, the XY is to be splitted into X train, X test, Y train, and Y test. X train and Y train are used for training. X train and Y train are used for training. X test is used for testing. Y test is used to calculate the accuracy. First, suppose you are going for an exam. Okay. This is the syntax which is used to convert the data frame into arrays, Pranati. So if you don't put a dot, you will get an error, right? So first, suppose you are giving an exam, right? So in the exam, you will be learning about some aptitude question and answers, right? So let's suppose those learning things can be considered as train data. For example, aptitude X underscore train could be questions, Y underscore train could be answers, right? Now you have completed the training and you are going to give the, oh, I'm sorry, Parvati. Yeah. Next one. You have given the exam. In that exam, you will get some questions, right? So those questions can be considered as X test, and your answers will be considered as some X variable, and the key paper can be considered as Y test for your exam. In the same way, for the model also, train are for training, that is to make them get trained. Test is to test the data, and after testing, it will give some values to check whether those values are correct or not. Y test is acting like a key paper. So for every model, you have to split this XY into 80% and 20%. Train should always contain 80% of data. Test should always contain 20% of data. For suppose I have 1000 rows. In that, 800 will be considered as trained data set. 800 rows will be considered as trained rows. 200 rows will be considered as test rows. So random state is equal to 0 is nothing but randomly I am splitting the data set into 80% and 20%. Now the data is being split. Then you have to apply feature scaling. Feature scaling is used to vomit outliers. What do you understand by outliers? First, suppose I have marks as a column. Marks as a column. All right. So, what are the minimum marks that a student can get? 0. What is the maximum mark that a student can get? 100. By miss, in that cell, someone put that as 1000, or someone made it as minus 20. So can you consider these two as marks? No. Marks will be only between 0 to 100. So whatever the data which is out of these out of these range can be considered as outliers. So to remove the outliers, I am standardizing the whole inputs. So standardizing is nothing but I am making them to come into a particular range of 0 to 1 or some minimum value to maximum value. Here standard scalar, it will take its own minimum range and maximum range, so that each and every value will be in a same range. Once the feature scaling is done, I am using decision tree classifier. So here you can see sklearn.tree import decision tree classifier. I am classifier. In that, I am considering criteria as entropy. I'm considering criteria as entropy. So I told you for classification, entropy is the criteria. I didn't take minus 20, Parvati. If suppose if the cell has minus 20 as a value, then these two values are considered as outliers. To remove these outliers, we do feature scaling. That's what I said, okay? So with the help of entropy, I am creating a decision tree classifier and I am training the data. So my algorithm got trained. Now I would like to test my algorithm with the help of predict function. So I've given my classification name is no, actually I have told about the information gain and entropy, right? Yes. So in decision tree, you can split the data set with the help of entropy as well as genesis index. All right. Two things are there. So here I am making the splitting with the help of entropy. This is the argument that you have to pass to the function. With the help of entropy, it will split the data set and it will create a decision tree. Once the decision tree is created, then you will be training the algorithm. Once the algorithm is trained, then you are testing the algorithm. This is the testing the algorithm. Test the algorithm. So YPRED is DRC is nothing but my classification model name. So DRC dot predict of X test. Predict of X test. Insert a cell below. Now check Y underscore pred. You can see for all the rows. You can see for all the rows of X test, X underscore test. All right. So this is the X underscore test. So for the first row, for this row, my model predicted it as 1. That means she will get affected with diabetes. For the second row till here, my model predicted as 0. That means she'll not get affected with the diabetes. For the third row, it predicted as 0. So this is the answers that your model has given. Now you can compare these models with Y test. Y underscore test. So if you see, this and this is correct. So that means the first one is correct. Then the second observation you can see, yes, this is also a right answer. Third one is also a right answer. Fourth one is also a right answer. Fifth one is also a right answer. Sixth one is also right answer. Seventh one is also a right answer. So you can compare Y test and YPRED. So I told you Y test is a key paper and YPRED is the answers given by the model, right? Instead of you counting each and everything and giving a accuracy, you have a function called accuracy score. With the help of accuracy score, you can predict the accuracy of your model. So now if you see this accuracy, it is 70% accurate. So your model is 70% accurate. So 70% it predicted correctly. This is about decision tree. For the same data set, you can apply random forest also. That's what I have applied in the next cell. So here I have imported the random classifier class. Then I am giving some sort of estimators. Here estimators is nothing but how many data sets it should get divided into. So for suppose my data set has 1800 rows, right? So those 1800 rows are divided into 10 data sets. And the decision trees should be formed based on entropy. And randomly, please select the rows. Then you just train the random forest. Now with the random forest, which is y underscore pred is equal to rrc dot predict of x test, or you just take it as rc pred rc pred. Now you can calculate the accuracy between y test and rc pred. Now if you see, or else you just put it as control C again, the accuracy, you can see that for random forest the accuracy is higher. For random forest the accuracy is higher. So this is how you will be building a model for decision tree and random forest classification. In machine learning, you have to mostly concentrate on data pre-processing techniques. Data pre-processing techniques, because for building a model, the code will not be more than 2 to 3 lines, right? If you see, for decision tree, it is just 3 lines. For random forest also, it is just 3 lines of code. So the whole thing should be purely based on the data pre-processing techniques only. Yeah, Likita. So in random forest, I told you in random forest, the data set is divided into different subsets, right? Yes. So here n estimators is nothing but how many you have to give. Ravi Kiran, there will be some sort of model tuning parameters where you can get 90%, but that 90% data will be only possible whenever your data pre-processing is very good. The data that you have collected is not having any sort of different sampling, all right? So this is what, yeah, all right, Ravi Kiran. So you have to mostly, this 90%, 99% will be computed only when your data set is very good, and you have to do different kinds of things. Yes, it purely depends on your data and how much your machine got trained on it. All right. So Likita, did you understand what is this n estimators is? Yes. So this is what all about classification. This is what all about classification is. So any doubts still here? Please tell me whether you're using notebooks or not. Are you using Jupyter notebooks? Calculating. Yeah, tell me, Parvati, what are all the doubts that you have? Rakesh, when calculating accuracy is the last step for any model building or any further steps required. So based on this calculation of accuracy, you have to also, if your accuracy is not proper, then you have to again reset your data. Again, you have to tune your model. Again, you have to apply the algorithm. So this is the total continuous cyclic process, Rakesh. Until you get a good accuracy, then this process is a cyclic process. Okay. Once you get a better accuracy and your data is and your model is working fine, then you can go for production. So once this is only for model building, but if you want to make it for production, you have to deploy your model somewhere. After deploying, you have to create a web application or an Android application to your model. and you can use that for production. You can make your model live. All right, Rakesh? Did you understand? Confusion matrix is used to check how many correct parameters are given and how many wrong parameters, how many correct predictions are there, how many wrong predictions are there. Based on that confusion matrix, you will be calculating the accuracy. You cannot calculate accuracy. Confusion matrix will not give you accuracy, but based on confusion matrix, you have to calculate the accuracy. We have to develop a program which will get better accuracy and have less entropy, man, or is it? No, for example, this is the data that I have, right, Ravi? If I put decision tree, I got 70% as my 70% as my accuracy. But whenever I train it on random forest, I got it as 78%. Can you see this? So what I can say is, for this data set, random forest regression is apt algorithm. All right. All right, Ravi Kiran. Okay, basically this is an extra one that I have put. ROC AUC curves are purely the metrics curves for the classification model. So it will take more than 2 to 3 hours to explain about ROC and AUC curves. So that could you can explore this. I'll just give you a link about that. You can check about what is this ROC and AUC curve is. There is a good medium link for ROC and AUC curve. You can go through this. ROC and AUC curve are also one of the evaluation metrics for classification model, guys. Right? So this is about classification. Now I have regression also. Now you have to also go with decision to regression and random forest regression, right? So I've also created the programs for regression also. I'll just explain the code. Just follow me. Fine. So please open regression file. Now here I have a regression data set. I'll just show you that. If you see here, I have a data set where I would like to predict the profit of a company. So for that, I have collected some observations where the company is in New York and it is spending amount on research and development, which is of 1,65,349 rupees or dollars, and it is spending money for administration, this much amount of money on administration, this much amount of money on marketing, and what could be the profit of that particular company, what could be the profit of that particular company. That's what the main aim of this algorithm is. So first I'll be training the data with the help of decision tree and random forest. So for that, the same process, whether it is a classification problem or a regression problem, the steps are same. First one is import the libraries. Second one is read the data set. Third one is read the data set. Third one is check for missing values and replace them. Fourth one is convert text data into binary. Next, split the data into X and Y. Train and test. Train the algorithm. Test the algorithm. Check the accuracy. Check the accuracy. So these are all the things that you have to need. These are the steps that you need for regression also. So the first step that I am using is doing is importing the library. I've just imported the libraries, and then I am reading the data set. So this data set is purely of a company turnover, right? Once that is done, I'm checking whether there are any missing values or not. Yes, if you see this, I don't have any missing values. So if you don't have any missing values, then you can just skip those missing values. Now this data set dot describe. Anyhow, you have seen this describe function while you are working with pandas, right? So describe will give the statistical information of all the columns. So count is like you have 50 rows, administration also you have 50 rows, marketing spend also you have 50 rows. Mean of R&D spend is 73721. Mean of administration column is 12134. Like that, it will give the statistical information of the whole data set. Once that's done, I am splitting my data set into X and Y. So here X could be inputs. Inputs are like from R&D spend, administration, marketing spend to state. So 0, 1, 2, 3. If you want to grab till 3, you have to give it as 0 is to 4. Right? So that's the reason I have taken X as 0 is to 4. And the last column as my Y. So profit is Y and X are inputs. Right? Now here I have state. I have state as my column. I have state as my column. So I have to convert that data into binary encoding, binary values, right? So for that, I am using column transformer. So whenever I use column transformer, all the data will be converted into binary format. So here what I'm doing, column transformer of one hot encoder. I'll tell you what is this one hot encoder of. Here I am giving some value, right? This is the column number that I am giving. So the column number is 3. If you see here, 0, 1, 2 and 3. State is in column 3. So that's the reason what you're asking, or that's the reason what you're doing. You're asking you're asking the interpreter to convert third column to one hot encoded values. So here one hot encoder is the function which is purely responsible for binarizing the values. So how is this binarization of values will occur? I'll tell you. First, suppose I have column called P. In that P, I have like India, Pak, Japan, India, Japan, India, Japan, Pak. So these are the columns that I have. Let's suppose. Now I do column transform. At that time, what it does is, based on alphabetical order, it will create the number of the columns which are equal to the number of categories. So can you please tell me what are the categories that are there in P column? India, Pak and Japan, right? So in an alphabetical order, it will create 3 columns aside. So what is the first alphabet? India. So India column will be joined. India. Next is Japan. Next is Pak. Right? So whenever this one hot encoding is being done, it will usually create 3 extra columns because there are 3 categories. Now, in the first row, what do we have? We have India, right? So, India will be 1, Japan will be 0, Park will be 0. In the same way, in the second row, what do we have? Park. So, Park is the third column, right? 0, 0, 1. In the same way, the third row, we have Japan. So, wherever the Japan is there, it will be replaced with 1. Like that, the whole data gets converted into binary data. So, this is how this one hot encoder will convert the data into. So, whenever, if you see X, here you have the state column, New York, California, Florida, New York, California, Florida, something like that. Now, after one hot encoding, let's see what happens. So, I'm doing this one hot encoding and I'm calling X. So, if you see that some binary values are appended before, can you see this? So, one hot encoding will create other columns in front based on the categories that are there. So here we have 3 categories of data. One is New York, Florida, and California. So 3 extra columns have been created. So these are the binary values of states. This will come to first column. So basically the states are in the last column. But after one hot encoding, those binary values are appended to the first columns. This is what happens with the help of the code CT is equal to column transformer, and reminder pass through is nothing but please do for rest of the columns if there are any other textual columns. You can have delete or pass through. Delete means delete the text columns. Pass through means check for the other textual columns. So this is what one hot encoding and column transform is. So now the data got converted into binary format, and then I'm splitting the data into X and Y. Now I'm applying random forest regressor. Here before I have taken it as random forest classifier, but now I'm taking it as random forest regressor. The same thing. N estimators is 100. That means I want to divide the data set into 100 decision trees, or you can also change the name, change the number. Now train it, test the data and predict it, see the accuracy. So you got the accuracy as 96%. So this is how you will be building a regression algorithm for random forest. If suppose you have to put decision tree, then you can use the same code which we have used for classification. We have used classification, right? But instead of classifier, you have to put it as regressor, and instead of entropy, you have to put it as MSE. So this is what all about here, regression, classification, problems of decision tree and random forest. Understood, guys? Oh, 1 second. Someone is asking questions. Okay, why is 1.0, 0 and 1.0? The reason is Jupyter will print the statements in the form of floating points. So that's the reason it is printed as 0, 0.0, 0, 0.0 and 1.0. So the default print for Jupyter is floating values. Even though you can, okay, pass through. Likita, for example, I have column 1, column 2, column 3, column 4. Okay, this is a numerical value, this is a categorical value, this is a categorical value, this is a numerical value. For suppose I put reminder is equal to delete. Now it will not check the other two categorical columns. If suppose I put pass through, then it will pass on to the next columns also. Did you understand, Likita? Did you understand, Likita? No, the argument is passed through. That means it will check. It will check for next column. It will check for next column. That's it. Okay. One hot encoding, right? Yeah, I am telling about that column transform. So here I have R&D spend. I am just random forest regressor is an algorithm which is used for training the data. So with the help of this regression algorithms, you can predict the future outcomes. So I'll just explain it in the So let's suppose this is my data set. I'm explaining about the column transform, guys. Right? So this is my data. Now here, this New York is, the state is our textual data. Now once you apply, yes, Likita. Now what I want to do, I want to give the column transform to this column. So at that time, what it does is, based on the alphabetical order, it will create few more columns based on the categories. So in the state column, we have three categories, which is New York, California, and Florida, right? So it creates three more columns towards first in the alphabetical order. So alphabetical order is nothing but the first one will be California. The second one will be New York. The third one will be, Florida. The third one will be New York. And then remaining R&D spend, administration and marketing spend will be similar. Now, how these one hot encoded values will be passed? In the first row, I have New York, right? So in the place of New York, you put 1, 0, 0. Then next I have California. California, you put 1 in the California column, 0 and 0. Next you have Florida. 0, 1, 0. So did you understand this now? Column transform, guys? Someone asked about this. Lalita, did you understand now? You were the one who asked me? Yeah, fine. So someone asked, ma'am, based on accuracy, we choose the best algorithm, but in all cases, is it necessary to find all algorithm? No. First, suppose if you are building an algorithm, first suppose you are building any machine learning model, you have to first apply all the algorithms which are there in the machine learning ecosystem. So based on that, accuracy will be calculated. Then you have to use it. So basically, everyone says that SVM or Navy bias are the best algorithms, but you cannot purely say that is not the what we say. You cannot for sure say that those two algorithms are very perfect. So sometimes decision tree can be very good for some sort of data. So that's the reason if you are building a model, apply all the algorithms, see the accuracy, then only choose the algorithm. All right, Yamini? Daphne, I have a question. Where will you provide recorded videos of this? Because I've missed some topics. We'll let you know, Muhammad.
What is the question?
Videos. He wanna see the videos.
Okay, so if the guy is in the Slack channel, he will get all the recorded links. But anyways, there is a YouTube link. We will share it with them by end of the session.
Sure. OH. Okay, fine. So here I have taken OH, right? OH is nothing but the instance name for one hot encoder. So here I am using a function. Hope everyone are aware of OOPS concepts, right? So in OOPS concepts, you should create an instance, right? So for this one hot encoder, I am creating a function called an instance or an object called OH. All right. So guys, this is all about regression and classification. So any doubts you can ask me. Fit underscore transform is used to do some sort of transformations. If suppose if you have attended the data pre-processing session or so, then you have used that label encoding, right? So here transformation, for example, let's take here you can see in one hot encoding there is some sort of transformation that is happening, right? Transformation that is happening. So you are fitting that transformation to X column. Fit transform is nothing but you are transforming the data with the help of the condition that you have provided. All right, guys? All right, guys? Yamini, yeah, you can use one hot encoder or label encoding, but that will be depreciated in the next versions. So scikit-learn 2.3, the above version 2.3 above will not encourage this encoding concept. So you have to shift to column transforming, Yamini. So in the future, those things are depreciated. Those things will be depreciated. All right.
Pradipti, are we done?
So I'm just answering those queries.
Uh, okay, so anyways, you can answer that, but the delivery is done, right?
Yes, yes, the delivery is done, sir.
Okay, okay, cool. So guys, so we kind of done with the session for today. So what we thought of delivering was we have already delivered conveyed. Now, actually, since this is last workshop, we would like to convey a couple of points. Most of you guys are asking for certificates and all. So we are not here to provide any certificate as such. We are here only to enable you on the latest technology. but still you can able to get the certificate from one of the IBM supportive website called cognitiveclass.ai. So I have spoken about how to avail the certificates and all in the session 2. Okay, so you can find the session 2 recording. In fact, not only session 2, all the sessions, total 6 we have done. All 5 sessions I have already uploaded in the YouTube channel. You can see that I have posted in the chat, and the 6th session also will be uploaded by end of today, right? So go through the second session. First half an hour I have clearly discussed how to avail various certificates, various different certificates from IBM. Okay, so you can get full clarity information from there, and you can actually register for some websites, and you can go and do some courses accordingly. You will get the certificates. Fine. Okay, so with this I would like to so Jay, are you there?
Yes, sir, I'm there.
Okay, great. So actually, this is the program, 6 workshop series, machine learning with Python with 6 workshop series. IBM has started actually, but we have also taken the help of our edtech partner company called SmartBridge. So thanks to SmartBridge team, entire team for supporting the sessions from last 3 workshops. So now I am handovering to Mr. Jay. He's a business development manager from SmartBridge. So he would address on certain things for you all. Jay, please.
Yeah, thank you, sir. So, hello guys.
You can stop. Yeah. 1 second.
Yeah.
Pratik, you can stop sharing. Okay. Yeah, Jay, please.
Thank you. So, good afternoon, everyone. This is Jay Prakash from SmartBridge with Academia Relations. So, I think this is the last day for your series of sessions. So, I hope you have learned a few interesting things on the emerging technologies, so which would definitely help you for your future career. So, yeah, anyways, I don't want to take much time off here, so I'll just jump into what I just wanted to tell you. So let me just share my screen and show you something. Yeah. Hope you are able to see my screen.
Yes.
Yeah. So fine. Like I represent a company called SmartBridge. It's an edtech company. And we generally deal with engineering students like you all. And we like it's been 5 years since we are into the industry, and we generally upskill students on emerging technologies like, as you can see, AI, ML, blockchain, cybersecurity, etc. So smart
Your voice is breaking. Can you come a little closer to mic, please?
Yes, one second. Yeah, is it fine now?
Yeah, better.
Okay, thank you, sir. So, Smart Interns is one of our products, SmartBridge product. So, Smart Interns it's a platform designed and developed for students. So, what is in it for the students? So, Smart Interns have got lot of features or the programs designed for the students to upskill themselves on the emerging technology. So, if you are a technology enthusiast, if you wanted to upskill yourself on the emerging technologies, then Smart Interns would be the one-stop destination for you all to start at your career on any technology, or upgrade yourself or upskill yourself on any particular technology that you are interested in. So how that can be done? So once you are on the Smart Interns platform, you'll be able to get into different programs of ours, like as you can see here, graded projects. We do summer internship programs in a very large scale. So this year, 2020, even though there was lockdown, complete pandemic was there, but yet we have successfully completed remote summer internship programs to 6,000 plus students all over India and from other countries as well. So we do winter internship programs and different buildathons. So IBM buildathon, AWS buildathon, these are the ongoing programs that are available on the platform. I'll just show you. And we organize challenges. It can be offline or online. So challenges are nothing but kind of coding challenges or something. Okay. On which technologies? On these technologies: AI, ML, IoT, cybersecurity, blockchain, etc. So if I change my screen, are you all able to see, or you still see the presentation? I mean the image.
We cannot see anything actually now. Blank screen.
Okay.
We can.
Okay. 1 second. Yes.
Yeah, we can see Smart Intern platform.
So this is Smart Interns platform. So Pradeep, if possible, can you please share the Smart Interns link in the chat. So Smart Interns platform. So here you have multiple things for you if you wanted to upskill yourself on the technology. So guided projects. So these are nothing but kind of different projects provided to you with the guided labs where you can follow the step-by-step procedure given on the platform and then complete a project. So build-a-thons, as I was talking, so I'll just come back to this. And you have different challenges, IBM build-a-thon, AWS build-a-thon and all, and then internship. So coming to build-a-thon, so currently IBM build-a-thon is running. So this you can immediately just log in and you can register for it. It is completely free of cost. It has got a lot of advantages in it. So this link will be sharing in the chat. You can directly register now. It's still like open for registrations. So Build-a-thon is nothing but like kind of program where you can come and you can pick any project from here. So there are multiple projects related to IBM technologies. So we utilize IBM Cloud here. So you can choose different technology and the sector and the complexity, and you can just enroll for any project that you are interested in, and you will get different kind of mentor support for developing the project. Using our Smart Interns platform, you can complete a project, develop a project as part of the IBM Build-a-thon, and thus you'll be part of this entire program. So these are the deadlines you can go through. Everything is there on the website. So this is one of the program that we are currently that is being currently ongoing, and it's completely free of cost. You can register for this. So like this, like on Smart Interns website, we'll be having a lot of programs coming up on various technologies, various different kind of programs to upskill yourself on a particular technology. So yeah. So coming to internships. So if you just click on internships on the Smart Interns website, like we provide different companies internships on our platform, so that you are on the Smart Interns platform, you start building your career with us, you undergo different kinds of trainings with us, and then your profile will be automatically upgrading. And thus, based on your profile, based on your skill sets, we will suggest you different internships provided by different companies. So if you see on the website, we have internships from different companies posted on our platform. It belongs to all the technologies, different technologies, different companies, different types of roles. There are full-time roles also available. So based on your skill sets that you develop on our platform, we suggest like whatever is fit for you, whatever is suitable for you. So this is one of the features that our Smart Intern platform has, where you can go through different kinds of internships provided by a lot of companies. So I'll just quickly show you how inside of Smart Interns looks, the workflow and all. Yeah. So this is the login. Once you log in into Smart Interns platform, this is the dashboard. So where all the programs, whatever you register for, would be available for you. Challenges, internships, what all internships you applied, your profile, learning path, certificates, whatever certificates you gained on our platform, digital certificates, everything will be available. So projects, coming to projects, so all the projects you enroll will be available for you in the platform in this way. So how these projects would actually help you. So for example, if you enroll for this project, Smart Restaurant Okay, so you have guided labs. So these are the guided labs with all the references to understand the concept involved in the project and how to develop it. All the steps will be given to you. You can simply go through these guided labs, understand how it works, what all are involved in developing that particular project, everything, and then simply you can go to a workspace. So this is a workspace where same project, these are all milestones, and all the milestones are divided into activities. So based on that, this is kind of industry driven or company like environment that we are bringing it to you through Smart Interns platform. So the way how you develop a project resembles like people working in a company, same workflow we are trying to follow here, so that once you're in the colleges, you get used to this kind of flow. So you have tasks and progress. So these are all cards. Each every activity will be divided into tasks, which you can update, and you have mentor support. So simply like you stuck at some point, okay, you can simply ask mentor. All the mentor reviews will be available here. So you have everything on this Smart Interns platform to have hands-on experience on any particular technology. So just all the code, whatever you write, all the project, whatever you develop, you can directly upload it into the GitHub repository from this workspace itself. So there are many other tools, integrations coming up further, which would make your work more easier and which would help you to upgrade yourself. So this is what about Smart Interns platform. So I'll just post it in the chat, the link, which you can just come over and see what all are available, apply and register for the programs that are available, and be connected with us so that we'll be sharing you all the details going further.
Yeah, thank you, Jay. Thanks for your quick walkthrough on Smart Interns platform. So students, just give a look. It really helps for you. So internships are
So
for you
there is a question. Internships free of cost, or do we have to pay? So basically, there are two types of internships available on the platform. So if you already have very good amount of knowledge on any particular technology, let's say you have been going through ML sessions all these days, right? So let's say you already have good amount of knowledge in machine learning, then you will be eligible to apply for internships that are provided by different companies on our platform on ML domain. Or if at all you don't possess good amount of knowledge and you wanted to learn first before doing the internship, then we have different training programs or training come internship program with us by SmartBridge, where we train you and then we give you 1 month internship like opportunity also with us, where you have to pay for the training, and then you can apply for different internships once you are good to go. Yeah, so you can just come on to Smart Interns website link, whichever I just posted. And coming to internships, 1 second. So this is the website for internships. So currently, right now, if you wanted to do any kind of internship with us, so you can just come to this portal and you can just pick whatever is suitable for you, whatever technology you are interested in. 1 second, I'll just put it in the chat, the link. Yeah, I'll share the screen also for the internship. Yeah, so this is internship portal. So this is the link which I just posted. You can just come here, just go through all the features available, all the technologies available, choose a plan whichever fits for you. You can good to go. So this is 1 month internship program. So right away you can register for it. It is ongoing. So Buildathon, which I just showed you, and these internship are currently ongoing programs on the platform, which you can register now. Yes.
Okay. So thanks, Jay. Yeah, thanks for your walkthrough. Guys, so we are almost done. So as we promised to deliver 6 workshops we have done, and wait for our from our side, we are gonna communicate to you back on our next series of workshop. Probably in a month's time we are going to launch next series of workshop. It may be on AI or deep learning. So we will discuss and we will host the workshop. So meanwhile, you can get into this internship platform and explore, and if possible, try to complete 1 or 2 internships, which helps for your career for sure, right? So ML next level is like deep learning you need to focus on. So try to learn all these 6 workshops content and try to enhance more your knowledge on machine learning. So there is a link which I have already given in the workshop too, as I have told you about the certificates, right? So go there and complete the other online courses which IBM is providing for you. So there you can avail some badges. And stay tuned for our next workshop going to be happen soon. We will announce about that. Yeah, so probably by end of this October, we will launch it. We'll let you know, right? So meanwhile, you can reach out us. I have shared our email IDs in the chat. So SmartBridge, for the internship details, you can reach out to them. And in regards to IBM, any communication towards us, right? You can write to me, right? So we are all happy to answer your questions. Okay, so thanks, Jay. So thanks, Pradipti, for your time. So I think we can wrap for today.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Yeah, so we need to close the session. We have another session starting at 4 o'clock. Thank you all, guys. Good luck.
Thank you all. Yeah.
Thank you.